Today our topic is the connection between Stoicism and Buddhism. Both Stoicism and Buddhism are ancient philosophies that teach us how to live better lives. They come from different parts of the world, Stoicism from ancient Greece and Rome, and Buddhism from ancient India, that they share many ideas that can help us deal with life's challenges. At their core, both philosophies focus on understanding suffering, controlling our emotions, and finding inner peace. Let's explore how these two traditions connect and what we can learn from them. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control everything in life, but we can control how we react to what happens. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This idea is very similar to Buddhism, which teaches that suffering comes from our attachment to things we cannot control. The Buddha said that life is full of suffering, but this suffering is caused by our desires and expectations. When we let go of these desires, we can find peace. Both philosophies remind us that we must accept the things we cannot change and focus on our own actions and thoughts. Another key connection between Stoicism and Buddhism is the importance of mindfulness. In Buddhism, mindfulness is a central practice. It means being fully present in the moment, aware of our thoughts and feelings without judgment. Stoicism also encourages mindfulness, but in a slightly different way. The Stoics believed in self-awareness and reflection. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, kept a journal where he reflected on his actions and thoughts. He asked himself questions like, "Am I acting with virtue? Am I letting my emotions control me?" Both traditions teach us to pay attention to our inner world and to practice self-discipline. Stoicism and Buddhism also share a focus on detachment. In Stoicism, detachment means not being too attached to things like wealth, fame, or even other people's opinions. The Stoics believe that these external things are not under our control, so we should not let them affect our happiness. Buddhism teaches a similar idea through the concept of non-attachment. The Buddha said that attachment to things, people, or outcomes leads to suffering. When we let go of these attachments, we can find true freedom and peace. Both philosophies encourage us to focus on what really matters, our own character, values, and actions. Another interesting connection is the idea of impermanence. Buddhism teaches that everything in life is temporary. Nothing lasts forever, not our possessions, not our relationships, not even our own lives. This idea can be difficult to accept, but it helps us appreciate the present moment and not take things for granted. Stoicism also recognizes the temporary nature of life. The Stoics often reminded themselves of their own mortality. They believed that thinking about death could help us live more meaningful lives. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Both philosophies remind us to live fully and not waste our time on things that don't matter. Stoicism and Buddhism also teach us about the importance of compassion and kindness. In Buddhism, compassion is one of the highest virtues. The Buddha taught that we should care for all living beings and try to reduce their suffering. Stoicism also values kindness, but it focuses more on justice and fairness. The Stoics believe that we are all part of a larger community and that we have a duty to treat others with respect and fairness. Both traditions encourage us to think beyond ourselves and to act in ways that benefit others. One of the most practical lessons from both Stoicism and Buddhism is the idea of focusing on the present moment. In Buddhism, this is often called living in the here and now. The past is gone and the future's uncertain, so the only moment we truly have is the present. Stoicism also teaches us to focus on the present. Epictetus said, "Don't let the future disturb you. You will meet it if you have to with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present." Both philosophies remind us that worrying about the past or the future only takes away from the joy and peace we can find in the present moment. Stoicism and Buddhism also share a belief in the power of the mind. Both philosophies teach that our thoughts shape our reality. In Buddhism, this is often expressed through the idea that our minds create our experience of the world. If we think negatively, we will see the world in a negative way. If we think positively, we will see the world in a positive way. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of our thoughts. The Stoics believe that it's not events that upset us, but our judgments about those events. By changing our thoughts, we can change how we feel. Finally, both Stoicism and Buddhism encourage us to live a life of virtue. In Stoicism, virtue means living with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. The Stoics believed that these virtues are the key to a good life. Buddhism also teaches the importance of living ethically. The Buddha gave guidelines for living a moral life, such as not harming others, speaking truthfully, and acting with kindness. Both traditions remind us that true happiness comes from living in alignment with our values and principles. So what can we learn from the connection between Stoicism and Buddhism? First, we can learn to accept the things we cannot control and focus on our own actions and thoughts. Second, we can practice mindfulness and self-awareness to better understand ourselves and our emotions. Third, we can let go of attachments to things that don't truly matter and focus on what brings us real peace and happiness. Fourth, we can appreciate the present moment and not take life for granted. Fifth, we can cultivate compassion and kindness toward others. Sixth, we can recognize the power of our thoughts and use them to create a better reality. And finally, we can strive to live a life of virtue and integrity. Both Stoicism and Buddhism offer timeless wisdom that can help us navigate the challenges of life. They teach us how to deal with suffering, how to find inner peace, and how to live a meaningful life. By understanding the connection between these two philosophies, we can take the best from both and apply their lessons to our own lives. Remember, life is not about avoiding difficulties, but about learning how to face them with strength, wisdom, and grace. Whether you follow the path of Stoicism, Buddhism, or simply take inspiration from both, the most important thing is to keep growing, learning, and striving to be the best version of yourself.